This week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick.
Fight fans, fight fans, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Bob Arum. Get this. Bob Arum states that Dillian Whyte wants $10 million for Fury fight, and it's not happening, says Bob Arum. Dillian Whyte was offered $5.5 million for a fight with Tyson Fury, but he wants double that at $10 million, and that's not going to happen, says promoter Bob Arum. Even with that figure, Arum believes that Whyte and his team will want more than $10 million. So if Arum agreed to the $10 million, they would insist on asking for even more. Unless the WBC mandatory Whyte and his team change their minds quickly, Fury will be moving on and making a defense of his Ring Magazine heavyweight title against Andy Ruiz Jr. or Robert Helenius. Wow. According to top-ranked promoter Arum, Fury's WBC heavyweight title won't be on the line for his next fight. And Arum says that Whyte and his team are treating this fight like it's their last hurrah, resulting in them asking for as much money as possible. Dillian's decision to price himself out means that he'll eventually be facing a non-entity when he does return to the ring, says Arum. For Whyte to make huge money, he needs Fury, Anthony Joshua, or Alexander Usyk, and that's not going to happen. Let me counterpunch. $5.5 million for a Fury fight isn't out of the ordinary. I wouldn't disagree with that whatsoever. Because even if it was a flat rate, which if they want to give him 5.5, I think at the end of the day, I think that's the amount of money Dillian Whyte would have made. Now, if he just wants a split, he's going the Deontay Wilder route, okay? This is very different from where Deontay Wilder was, though, because Wilder wanted money that he's never seen before. $5.5 million is definitely something that Dillian Whyte's seen before. However, it's his chance to get to that opportunity, okay? The WBC strap. Now, here's the problem. The problem with this is I can understand both sides. Bob Arum is cheap, so he's not going to pay $10 million. $10 million would be a good amount, I guess, for a mandatory. But you ask yourself, is that the standard? Okay. Would Dillian Whyte want more? Dillian Whyte does know what he's worth, and he's worth a lot. He will help Tyson Fury sell tickets. In fact, Dillian Whyte is the UK go-to guy. Okay, he's the guy that fought in UK, not Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury hasn't fought in the UK in a long time. So as far as them saying he needs Tyson Fury, well, I think it's the other way around, because this is a fight between both fighters that's mutual, respected in marquee value, okay? So when you're talking about Tyson Fury, well, Tyson Fury could do this, could do that. Yeah, he could do this or do that. But he won't be making the money that he normally makes. But if money is not the issue, and then it's the issue for Dillian Whyte, you have to ask yourself, what is more important? Is getting 5.5 million or something like that more important than getting 10 and not having the shot at all? Because based on what I just heard, that the WBC strap won't even be on the line. That means they're not stripping him. Again, we're dealing with Mauricio Suleiman. We're not dealing with the IBF. We're not dealing with the WBO. We're dealing with the WBC. And the WBC does things exactly like this. He could fight whoever, Helenius, and then he could put another belt on the line that he owns, which the lineal title, that ain't even a fucking belt, or the Ring Magazine or whatever. And was that even transferable? But anyway, he can do that without putting the WBC on the line. So In other words, if he fights someone like Hellenius and fucks around and loses, he'll still have that belt. How is that fair to anybody? When Mauricio Suleiman allowed the WBC franchise strap to be transferred or to be taken away, right? Or to be granted in a fight, right? Just like Teofimo. So how can this fight not be on the line? It's crazy to see where boxing is going. Now, is Dillian Whyte asking for too much money? By $10 million. I would say $10 million would be, it's a standard. I wouldn't go no farther than that. If he wanted more money, then he is asking for that last hoorah. If Dillian Whyte asked for $15 million or whatever, when you were going to take back in 19, $4 or $5 million, right, to fight Anthony Joshua, but you can't take 5.5 to fight someone like Tyson Fury. You know, you could look at that, and you definitely can scratch your head because you're like, he was willing to do this for that reason. But, that fight fell through for other reasons. He wasn't ready. He wouldn't get the lion's share of the money on the next fight. So those type of things are understandable. But him, like, closing down 5.5, that's basically what he got when he fought Chisora. Okay? Or when he fought Oscar Rivas. You guys remember that? I mean, that was normally his purse, $4 or $5 million. Right? He might get a little bit more than that, but he is a millionaire. Now, is 5.5 considered somewhat of a low blow? It is now, based on where Tyson Fury is, based on what Tyson Fury is going to get. Yes, it is. I'm not disputing that. But what I am saying is, at what point do you want to allow the WBC to keep fucking over you? And I know money's important, but it's like, how important is it if you're already rich? Your overall goal is to fight for the WBC, something that it may not happen, but will it happen based on what you're allowing to happen? See, the power is in Dillian Whyte's hands by making certain decisions. Now, are they the best decisions? Hell no, they're not best decisions. But it is a decision to get what you want. It's called sacrifice. Okay, the same thing I'm going to say about Dillian Whyte in this fight with Tyson Fury is the same thing I said about Deontay Wilder when he had that fight on the line for Anthony Joshua. As you can remember, the 15, the 12, right? The 7 the year before that, back in late 17. A lot of people don't talk about that, but that was also an offer on the table from Team Joshua to Deontay Wilder, just using that as an example. But if you got Dillian Whyte, if he's going to have to fight at any time and he want to wait for the arbitrator, then Tyson Fury gets beaten, that fight won't mean shit. It won't. Because what'll happen, Tyson Fury loses. We don't know what type of mental state, what mental state he'll be in if he does get upset by Hellenius. A lot of stranger things has happened. Definitely. A guy like Hellenius could be a banana peel. I would like to see the fight. It would be a good fight between two big men. And Hellenius went 12 rounds with Dillian Whyte before. You know what I mean? But what does that mean for Dillian Whyte? That still means it's more time for him waiting around for a shot that may or may not come. Sometimes you're just going to have to bend to certain people's weight sometimes. Okay? Sometimes you're going to have to do that. You know, is it this time? Well, hey, you got to ask yourself, how bad do you want the fight? Do you really want the fight? Do you think you can beat Tyson Fury, or are you really just doing it for money because you don't think you'll win? Those are things you think about realistically when you're thinking about Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury. You can't say that fight wasn't there or never been there. It'll just be another situation like you had with Anthony Joshua where they offered you something and you did not take it. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Bob Arum saying that Dillian Whyte wanted $10 million to get in the ring with Tyson, or more, with Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.